In the last video, a few folks asked to see my favorite Madden NFL slider set. I'm gonna go over my favorite sliders as well as my reasoning for each. Enjoy. So I personally would start out with the Cloud franchise if you are gonna start one, unless you are going to play offline frequently, meaning disconnected from the internet. Let's say you take your PlayStation places without internet and you want to continue your franchise, go with offline. But if not, if you're connected, if your console stuff is at home, I suggest you go with the actually Cloud franchise. Simulations are faster. It saves everything saved online. So if God forbid, your girlfriend pours water on your PlayStation, your saved everything won't be lost. I typically go with the Cloud franchise and start a new franchise here. And then you can go with the custom roster that allow you to go through the custom rosters and download them from online, and which is pretty cool. You can do a lot of custom rosters have more updated players, some legends, stuff like that. But if you just use the real-time roster, that's the latest one that EA Sports saves. All right, this allows you to start exactly where you want to start. What roster you can start with, the latest one will be the Super Bowl roster, of course, and it will pull that one. Typically in a 32-man league, it'll already be somebody who already commissioner already created, and you set up, you would just join, of course. And a lot of 32-man leagues, you would use a custom coach, and then choose that and set that up, and let's just get that started. Of course, if you're joining the 32-man league, commissioner settings already be set, but for me, of course, I would do all Madden simulation. Let's see here. So, that's fine. Like having full control, everything manual. Full roster off. This is all off here. I like to do my own progression. Not gonna really cover the XP sliders. Just gonna do the regular gameplay sliders in this video. If you guys want to see like an XP sliders one, I can do that. But typically, I've done that in the past. But what I did, I really broke it down more, and then went over each individual and tested each one, and simmed through the seasons and tested each one how it turns out. Really don't have the time to go through that one, so I really would just do the general sliders there as well. Alright, so let's get into the slider set right here. Special shout out to Moonlight Swami as well as Sim-F-Ball Critics giving me a little assistance with this, and kind of looking at what their sliders are set at and what I've had in the past, and kind of coming to a happy medium with the gameplay, how I like to have it on. Alright, so starting on all Madden difficulty, and first thing we're going to start off with the player skill ones. And this way you can set the player as well as the CPU passing there. So I like to drop the quarterback passing a little bit there, not too much. You don't want to have quarterbacks that are, a third round pick or a 60 overall quarterback passing for a ton of yards. You want to be realistic, so the quarterback does have some inaccuracy. You have to set your feet when throwing. As far as the pass blocking, I feel like the pass blocking is a little versus CPU is really not great. I like to put the pass blocking up a little bit there as well. And you'll see when I go through the CPU ones, we'll have some changes there as well. Wide receiver catching, notoriously the wide receiver catching is not great this year. So to compensate for that, I just hate to see top wide receivers just dropping balls with just a little bit of contact. Not a big fan of that. Up the running block a little bit to help with the CPU. A lot of times has crazy block sheds. I think now the slider set that I'm looking at right now this is really geared a lot towards versus the CPU. But it can also be used in a league for like a league, 32-man league. I would drop the pass blocking a little bit. I would have it like for a league. I would, because it's competitive versus other people, like a 32-man league. I would drop this a bit, as well as the the pass blocking. So it's really up to what are you guys using this for? How you like to play the game, how I like to play the game versus CPU. I'm trying to compensate for things that I feel a little overpowered, underpowered in the game. But versus a 32-man league versus each other, you don't want anything. You don't want like crazy blocking in that, or you don't want where guys can't get pressure on the quarterback. So this is more geared towards a CPU versus CPU when you're versus a CPU. But when you're going versus people, of course you want to tune that a little bit slightly as well. So use your own discretion on that one. So we're gonna go the pass defense reaction time, increase that to 60. Interceptions stay the same. Pass coverage up that little 65, which will allow you to actually run some man coverage in the game. Tackling, that is slightly up to a 55. All right, so for the CPU skill, it's really where you see a big difference here in how the game plays when you have the user versus CPU skill. CPU, we're gonna start out with the passing. Gonna drop that down because we know the CPU is so ridiculously overpowered when it comes to quarterback play in this game, especially on an all Madden level. I'm gonna take that way down to 25, so every CPU quarterback won't play like Tom Brady. The pass blocking, I'm gonna take this way down. CPU pass blocking is so ridiculous on all Madden. Take that all the way down to a 20, so you can actually get some pressure on a quarterback, and you don't have to user a rusher, which typically when it's on the default levels, you have to user a rusher to get any pressure on the quarterback. CPU catching down to 40, run blocking to 35. Fumbles just slightly down to have a realistic number of fumbles. The pass reaction time there, CPU to 40, interceptions to 40, as well as pass coverage to 40. And tackling, we're gonna leave at that 50. Tackling's not that bad. So field goal power, again, the whole point of slider set is to compensate with deficiencies you think in the game. I feel the kicking is a little bit underpowered, so just boost that slightly. A little too easy to kick field goals with the accuracy, so pull that down a little bit. A little more to the punt power, and punt accuracy can be pretty crazy, so some more to that. Kickoff, just slightly, because a lot of kickoffs get kicked out of the end zone in NFL, not so much in Madden, so we're gonna boost that up a little bit. And so we're gonna hear and start with the injuries. Injuries is a big one. Major problem in the game this year is your whole team going out on the stretcher. So really gonna drop that all the way down here to a 30, because injuries is just too crazy. And fatigue, boost it up just a little bit, so you don't always see starters going out so quickly as they do. This is the big one, a minimum player speed threshold, which really dictates how a player, the fastest guy versus the slowest guy. You want to really show some separation of speed from the top end guys to the slower guys, especially you got a fast running back, fast wide receiver. Really should show that more in the game. Put this at a 35. Some people like to max it all the way out, like Sim FBall Critic, but I just don't like to see like slower players really keeping up with blazing pass. Even though it does happen in the NFL, the game really is not designed yet for a slower cornerback who is skilled in other things and press and things of that nature to keep up with a fast receiver. So set that at 35 right now, and let's get into the penalties. Offside, we're going to increase this a little bit to have more realistic. A lot of people don't feel there's enough penalties in the game, which I kind of agree with. A lot of developers believe that penalties get in the way of people's fun, which I agree with that too. So I see their point of view. For me, I like to have a little bit more penalties in the game, a little more variance in the game, things that can happen, especially defensive holding, need that more. And we'll get this face mask here. That's not that bad. 55. Defensive pass interference, do not see that enough. Need to get that way up to a 65. Offensive pass interference, of course, on. Kids catch on. Illegal block in the back. Gonna have that up slightly, 55. Intentional grounding on. Roughing the passer, up slightly. And guys, a lot of times get mad and complain about that they have where you dive at the quarterback's legs and get peeled. They don't understand why that happens. It's just like the real NFL. You can't target the quarterback. You can't hit him at the knees, below the knees, stuff like that due to injuries. Same thing with Madden. They make that realistic. You can't just dive with your pass rusher at the quarterback's knees. You have to, so you can't just dive super early. Like a lot of times in the past, people will break through the line and just dive instantly, which is, you know, that. So one, it keeps it realistic because NFL that's not allowed, and two, it keeps people from doing that, and they will unrealistically break through the line and then just dive and then sack the quarterback, which is, that's kind of cheesy. So that knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone on that, that they have that in the game, which I do approve of. Run to the kicker on, and that is on as well. So that is the slider set right there. Pretty much, you already saw the league settings there. So team settings, of course, this is on all Madden. Like I said, I believe all Madden gives the best balance this year after they came out and they fixed that. You guys can experiment with game speed fast as well. I kind of like both, but just for this purposes that it can be used for 32 man as well. I like to keep it on normal because that's what people are pretty much used to playing on. You don't want to have your people join your league and they feel like they're playing a completely different game. So that's pretty much it there for the slider set. Again, you can still customize that to your own liking. For a 32-man league, online league, I would dial back some of the skill settings so they're a little bit more balanced, because you know you don't want the game to play totally different. You still want to play good enough where people can go league to league, and you know the gameplay is not like you're playing, you know, a whole nother Madden 18B or something like that. So still keep it where, you know, a lot of their same plays and things of that nature work the same way. If someone has a rushing attack, they can still run the ball and it's not overpowered. So you want to dial that a little bit back a little bit for 32-man leagues. But versus the CPU, I think these sliders are really great. And it's pretty much I've used for my testing for Moonlight Swami and as well as Semi-Ball Critic, 2 of the top guys in the sim community and Madden period. They've been around for a great time, a while, and both of those guys are really awesome and I love. So I did my testing, combined both of them and played through a few games, and that's what I really like when I came out there. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Test those sliders out. I didn't want to do a separate set, all Madden, all Pro. The all Madden, I feel this is the most balanced. It was all Madden, and then you drop the CPU. Because you can either do all Pro and boost the CPU. I feel that from the games that I played, that the all Madden and then tailing back the CPU just a little bit gave it the best balance overall. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Try the sliders out. A lot of you asked for them in the last video in the comments. Try them out. Let me know what you think about them, and if any slight changes you make and how that turned out for you. If you did like the video, of course, drop a like. SportsGamersOnline.com, and subscribe if you love our content. This is The Natural. I'm out.
Get the Lambo and drive. I was in the lab, you were on my mind, but all I really do is just go.